You'll never be caught needing to replenish your stash again when you subscribe to Hemper's monthly smoking boxes. Hemper's hands down the best place to stock up on your smoking supplies no matter the occasion. Curated with innovative and hand-selected products to ensure you're getting the absolute highest quality accessories for your smoking experience, Hemper's monthly smoking subscription service provides $100 plus in value for only $40. There's also the convenient options to receive every month, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, and right now use promo code HEDGE10 to get started and receive 10% off Hemper's box or the XL box at Hemper.com. Lifted Drinks. Join the party, skip the hangover. Created by hemp and cannabis lovers, Lifted is an amazing, tasty, non-alcoholic beverage created to improve any evening in or weekend out. Lifted is 100% hemp cannabis, 100% consistent, 100% of the time. We could ship anywhere in the U.S. Just add ice or mix it with your favorite beverage. Check them out at lifteddrinks.com. That's LYFTED drinks.com. Enter in radio to get a 20% discount at checkout. You must be 21 or over to join the party and skip the hangover.
Since adult use cannabis sales kicked off in Michigan in 2019, the market's experiencing some significant growth. In April of 2022, the total market sales, which is medical and adult use in the state, eclipsed $200 million in a single month, falling just $5 million short. But when we start digging into the drivers of the growth in Michigan cannabis, we can see that the prices of products are declining steadily. So we're going to take a look at recent trends in the cannabis market growth, in the Michigan cannabis market, and the underlying drivers, all coming up.
It's only entertainment.
Welcome back to The Talking Hedge. I'm Josh Kincaid, capital markets analyst and host of your Cannabis Business Podcast.
So we look at total sales in Michigan and Illinois, kind of get a little comparison going on. So this first graph, we're showing total market sales. That includes medical and adult use for Michigan and Illinois. Relatively early markets, so experiencing some strong growth over the last couple of years, as to be expected during the pandemic, and any new emerging state or rollout is going to have high prices and excessive sales until all neighboring states don't. And you're the last state, which will probably be like Idaho or something. They may not have the lackluster sales, or they may have lackluster sales because everyone is going to Washington and other areas. But what we can see is throughout 2021, there's some monthly sales in both those states that trended close together. So you can look at the last 6 months and see that Michigan sales began to outpace that of Illinois, producing about a 12.5% growth in that period compared to negative 7.5% for Illinois during the same time frame. So what's driving that growth in Michigan over the last 6 months? Prices of products over time are decreasing like they do no matter what. But right now, this is a first, recession, or early beginnings of recession and a bear market that we've seen in a decade. And so, as I've mentioned in the podcast many, many times, this was to be expected, like the slowest moving train wreck in history. And it's so slow, people can't even see it happening. But you can see inflation through things like beef jerky for like 10 years. You used to get a pound of beef jerky for $10. Now you get 3 little slices for the equivalent, so like 4 ounces. So we've been seeing this slowly steady increase because you can't keep printing money to donate to other countries, no matter how much you think Ukraine needs our money. What it's doing is creating higher valuations for things like housing. Housing isn't going up in value. The dollar is decreasing. So it's taking more currency to buy the same goods and services. And that's essentially what we're seeing. For Michigan specifically, trying to understand the sales drivers, you can look at the number of units and the price that they were sold. So looking at monthly units in Michigan over the last 2 years, you can notice a trend in units sold closely that mirrors the sales trends we saw in the previous graph, which is to be expected. So you look at the average item price, and you can see a steadily downward trend beginning at the end of 2020, continuing throughout May of 2022. But in the last 6 months, there's an increase of about 12.5%. And then a negative 19.3% decrease in the average item price. So that means in order to produce 12.5% sales, there needed to be almost a 20% decrease in price. So then we could take a look at why are prices decreasing and right off the bat, vice or sin stocks tend to do well. And we're going to go have a different podcast about that. But it's the last thing that people give up. But when your house and groceries and everything else is hitting us, where inflation hasn't been like this in 40 years. I wasn't around in the 70s when gas prices were crazy. And yet that's what everyone is dealing with. And so people are going to either cut back or eliminate entirely. And at this point, I don't think cannabis is going to be safe from that. I think everybody is looking at cheaper alternative ways of doing things, including with their vice. So this graph here is going to break down the decrease in average item price, around 19.3% decrease in the last 6 months. So there's more of a picture than we can see. And I mentioned that 420 wasn't going to bring in any new folks because you have twice a week here at every store offering 30%. So why would people go in for 420 and deal with extra long lines just because it's a holiday? That holiday used to come, with sales in the beginning, and now you get sales every day of the week. So the flower category is still the most dominant at about 48% in the last 6 months. So that negative 21% decrease in flower is a primary driver of that overall decrease in average item price. And the next 4 largest categories by sale is vape pens, edibles, pre-rolls, concentrates, all saw a decrease of more than 10%, contributing to that overall trend. So flower's average item price is decreasing. It fell almost 15% in the same 6-month period. The main takeaway is that with the 19.3% decrease in the average item price over the last 6 months, driven primarily by flower, also saw a decrease in the flower's equilibrium cost. So the cost of flower to retailers has been dropping, and retailers have been passing those savings on to consumers. One likely reason for the flower cost is the increased competition among producers in Michigan as producing started to catch up with demand. Same thing we're seeing in every other market. So the total market sales increased 12.5% for the last 6 months, driven by a 39% growth in unit sales. So the Michigan market's one to watch and continue to see that mature with more people growing, reaching the demand finally. And then prices are going to have to come down or discounted significantly once or twice a week, whether that's Friday or Tuesday, whatever the day is, but 30% off is going to be what draws people in. Those producers aren't going to have much say in it. So they're going to be struggling, trying to keep in business and stay open, but not much they're going to be able to do about it.
With that, we're going to roll this one up. I'm Josh Kincaid. This is The Talking Hedge. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or don't, and I'm out.
Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out and check out these other videos that we've got.